Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Mario is with us, Stevie and Don. We've got to start with a serious note. One of our guests has been drawing complaints during his time here in the States. People aren't particularly happy with the dress or lack of it from a certain Don Hutchison.
What?
Who's been walking the streets of West Hertford without your top on.
Not walking the streets.
Look, just look.
It's not walking the streets. It's not walking the streets.
Do you know what? Do you know what's missing here?
What?
A handkerchief on your head.
Oh, yes. Don, put some clothes on, man.
I found a nice little walk. There was no one there. It was beautiful. Top off. Sunbathing.
Oh, what?
No.
Oh, no.
As soon as I got near the hotel, top back on.
No, Tom. No, that's disappointing.
No.
I think you need to, just for everybody's sake.
Nope.
No one needs to see that.
No, we don't.
Don is missing the
that's all right.
sunshine, guys. That's why he's letting it go. The sunshine is making him
most
letting it go.
definitely.
That's the thing. Allow him some sun.
Mario, we were thinking of you because we were watching the mixed 4x400 race, and then obviously Femke Boer, who is just... It was like she was running against children, just past everyone without any problems. She must be such a superstar now in the Netherlands.
She's a big superstar in the Netherlands now. But the thing was, you know, when you look at people when they run like that, she made me feel like I've never sprinted in my life because it was so comfortable the way she made it look.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like for a small country, this is a big win. Definitely for Holland, a big achievement for, you know, a lady to do that and show the man how it needs to be done. Well done.
I think someone put on Instagram or some YouTube or whatever, someone put Femke Boer as a top speed to a guy on a treadmill and said, go and do that for 400 metres.
Right.
Fell off within like 10 seconds.
There we
like
are.
sprinting pace.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's so cool, so good. The Olympics has been a lot of fun. Dan, during during yesterday's show on the Manchester United segment, you all seem to have forgotten they signed a striker, Joshua Zirkzee, from Bologna.
Hold on a minute. Have they forgotten?
What do you mean?
I haven't seen him yet.
Does this prove the panel's hatred towards Manchester United?
No.
You were on the show, Don.
Just a young kid who's got great talent.
But why didn't you bring him up?
Because he hasn't played a game yet.
Wow.
So,
But
yes,
he's from Serie A. I thought you'd be singing his praises.
No, he's a very good player, but my point is, when you pull on a shirt of Man United,
right,
and they're going to want a guy that's going to hit 25 goals a season.
Yeah.
You know, Rasmus Højlund couldn't do it because his numbers weren't there when he was at Atalanta.
Right.
You're asking a young kid and then Zirkzee, who's a talent, to try and go into that team and carry the team playing a number 9.
Oh, dear.
Difficult.
Oh, dear. Zirkzee, how many goals is he going to get, Mario?
What Don said, that's exactly how I'm worried as well. Because those numbers is a different pressure from Bologna. It's kind of like, don't get me wrong, they had a great season, but it's kind of like safe, and he's like not the ultimate striker always. He can play as a 10 and as a striker. But how many goals, guys? What? If he gets the double numbers, it's a great achievement already. So I hope for him to have a good start, because that will carry him on. But the double numbers, and I'm not going to give him a number, but double numbers will be a great achievement already to start with for him.
That's why we forgot him. Mario, Ten Hag or Slot, which bold Dutchman will have a better coaching career in the Premier League, and what's the main difference between their coaching styles?
The difference between them two is that Slot, he doesn't mind to take certain risk, and I think with Ten Hag, his belief to hold on to a certain thing, even if it doesn't work. He held on too long for me, even if it wasn't working. And I think Slot will make a quicker change. And that's the only difference that I feel that those two really possess. That he will make a quicker change and he's open to newer things, Slot. But away from that, I think Slot comes into a better team than Ten Hag came in. Because there was a lot of rebuilding. So I feel Slot has the better opportunity to have the growth, regardless if Klopp was, of course, a legend that did so much for Liverpool already. I still think Slot comes in a better situation to push the club, you understand, at least this season. Let's see what happens next season.
Don.
Good question.
Fullkrug to West Ham. Is it a good move or not?
Yeah, I think I quite like it. I think he's a guy...
Where does he go on the pecking order of the West Ham strikers?
What, over the years, decades?
No, in the squad now. You've got hands.
Oh, to play. No, I thought you were going to reference like a Tony Cottee or something. Not going to be one of them. But he'll play every single game.
That sun's gone to your head, Don.
Why?
Where does Fullkrug rate in the...
Well, your question was quite vague.
I don't think it was vague at all.
It was. You just went, where does he rank in... Where does he rank in West Ham strikers?
Yeah, exactly.
In what era? That's what I was trying to say to you.
Antonio, Fullkrug.
No, I know now, but he left it very open. As if to say, what's the question? No, he'll be the best one there.
He's first choice striker.
Yeah, because he's proper number 9.
OK. And where does he rank in the history of West?
16th.
For all, as a player, which signing by your club excited you the most, and did that player end up making a significant... Good question. Who excited you the most when they were coming in, Stevie?
Barnsley.
Yeah, that's got to be brilliant, isn't it? How much did you know about him before he came to Liverpool?
No, I knew about him, aye.
Because he was at Watford. Yeah, was it Watford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seen him play, played against them. And as usual, you never quite appreciate somebody until you see more of them.
Right. Like Don Topless.
Yeah.
Some might like it.
But it was a double header for us. I mean, Barnsley just edged out, but we signed Beardsley at the same time.
Wow.
Signed the two of them at the same time.
Right.
Like, whoa, I like this.
Yeah, very nice.
Aye.
What about you, Don?
I'm not getting anywhere near that. Like Barnsley and Beardo and...
No, and no one when you were at like West Ham or somewhere like
when I was
that?
at Liverpool, we signed Nigel Clough from Forest, who was...
God, really? You're right, you're right.
Well, exactly. Because at Forest, he was sensational, but just didn't do it at Liverpool.
What about you, Mario?
I think for me it was I think Lampard made a big change. Why? Because he came with a lot of pressure from West Ham, and I think he achieved, you know what I'm saying, and the way he was as a player, because we were talking about, you know, if you talk about fitness and everything, also he was one of my running buddies, and just as a player he worked so hard away from training that I felt like, yeah, he was a really great. And the other part that I said, I managed to sit next to Mr. George Weah when he came, such a big star at Milan. Come and sit next to you. Remember him asking me, can I sit next to you? I said, you can sit wherever you want. If you want to sit here, no problem. I even move if you want to sit. I said, I can move a little bit left if you want. He said, no, this is good. Great guy. So those are the two guys, I think, one that influenced my career, because Weah, a lot of advice, and Lampard, just the way he managed to build his career when he came to Chelsea.
Mario, tell me more about George Weah.
George Weah, he was the first one that ever brought me to the United States. He invited me to come to, I went to New York with him and Miami, and it was just incredible, just as a human being. It's like advising me certain things. I remember wanted to pick up, I come to his house one day, and I said to him, like, he's asked me, do you want a drink? I said, yeah, I want a drink. He said, what do you want to drink? And I go, yeah, I want a Coke. He said, yeah, in the fridge. So I grabbed the Coke. The second time I come again, he said, what do you want to drink? I said, a Coke. The third time I come, I said, what do you want to drink? A Coke? He said, stop. You see the water can there? He said, drink from the water. You want to be a footballer or you just want to do one season? I said, no, I want to be a footballer. He said, then stop drinking those fizzy drinks. Drink water. And that was also the day when I stopped drinking fizzy drinks. So one of the guys that really advised me, and I think he had a big impact when he came to Chelsea. For me, the first couple of months, definitely.
If only you'd met George Weah all those years ago, Stevie.
Can you imagine?
You would have sorted out your fizzy drink problem.
Aye. Coke would have been out the window. Chris and water.
Chris and water?
Chris and water doesn't have the same ring.
Well, you don't really need to have the crisps, maybe.
Yeah.
Start bet. Right. These three football rivalries, Mario, which are the biggest in your opinion? Yeah. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Celtic, Rangers, Inter Milan, AC Milan.
Maybe because I'm a Dutch kid, you know, coming from Holland, I would pick, you know, Madrid, Barcelona. Yeah, those because I grew up with that, so that's why those were the closest to me. And then it's a difficult one. Why? Because Celtic Rangers I saw it from distance. I never lived it, but Inter Milan and AC Milan is because of the three guys, right? Gullit, Van Basten, and Rijkaard. So that would be my second pick, and then Celtic I have to pick as my third.
Don, where are you going for this one?
Absolutely impossible.
It's very personal, isn't it? I think this one.
Yeah, I don't think you can win either way. I mean, I would go start Celtic, Rangers, Inter Milan, AC Milan second, Barca last. But
have you ever been to an Inter Milan, AC Milan?
I have actually.
Have you done?
Yeah,
I've still got
twice.
Pictures from WhatsApp that you sent me relentlessly.
Shirt on, though.
Shirts on.
So here's a question, right? So Mario, what? So you'll be able to tell me the Madrid, but what's the atmosphere?
Not good. Not great. Because there's no away fans.
See, I went there.
So if you're Real Madrid, Barcelona, you've got 500. You've got 500 Barcelona fans.
I went there. Steve McManaman got me some tickets for the game.
But it's
and I was sat quite high up in the gods to the right-hand side. And as Dan said, there was about 400 Barcelona fans. Quiet.
I think if you're looking for atmosphere, then you would go to Celtic.
Yeah, I mean it's
quiet.
Celtic. I mean it's a.
But it is
Celtic
intense.
Rangers one is you're constantly looking over your shoulder until you get in your seat.
I mean, maybe the Figo days. That must have been.
Yep.
That must have been hot.
Yes, most definitely. But that was all Barcelona fans, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At Figo, the Pig's Head, obviously that.
Yeah.
But I think that was more of an anomaly compared to what we. Well, compared to Clásicos I've experienced, I would say, like as Stevie says, you know that
Have they ever had any sort of? Oh no, they can't because the fans don't really go there.
Champions League, obviously, would be a situation where you'd kind of have more of an even.
I think with the other two, there's genuine hatred. You know, Inter, Milan.
Oh no, I think Barca and Real Madrid fans hate each other.
do they?
I think that's Stevie,
they don't like each other.
I've just finished your autobiography, which was brilliant from start to finish. It is brilliant, by the way. It's fantastic. 5 league titles in a packet of crisps. Be sure to read it if you haven't. Have you ever read any autobiographies from former teammates or other footballers?
I have. The last one I read was Paul Walsh's.
Right, OK, who you played with at Liverpool, obviously.
Played with at Liverpool.
Yeah. Who struggled at Liverpool, is that fair to say?
He got a bad injury. He was doing all right until he got injured. And I read, so like Paul Walsh's sort of my era just after.
Yeah, it's kind of a contemporary.
Read Ian St. John's.
Oh wow, OK.
Previous year.
Yes.
But the difference between mine is mine's not about football.
No, it's brilliant.
Yeah, Walsh's and Ian's, a lot of it was to do with football.
Yeah, you also just got some great
Stories.
stories.
Just stories about things.
It's another time that Alan Hansen tricked me into doing something.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, we won.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly.
So, yeah. Yeah, I don't read many. I'm not a big reader, to be honest.
No, YouTube.
I can't keep my concentration for long enough.
No. Don?
Not loads. Just about to start David Dean's, Arsenal chairman.
But why would you want to read that?
Because it's meant to be really, really good.
Really?
Got passed on from a good friend of mine. Gaza, I've read his autobiography because I grew up with him.
Yes.
And it makes sort of
that's very interesting.
So like when he's talking about places that I know, Gateshead, it's quite nice, and the boys clubs that he's played for. Di Canio, who I played with, read his. But not loads of them.
No. What about you, Mario?
You know, like when you talk about players, it's actually interesting what Don said. The closest that of another biography from a player, but he was then a club owner, was Dave Whelan, the one from Wigan. Why I read that one? Because on business scale, he was just on a level that I was like, you know, like really interesting. Like reading a part of his book was like, he literally stood in front of a store and opened like a little bucket, almost like a store, and started selling, you know, like training gear. And then later on, he managed to count the chimneys, because if he counted a chimney and he counted 5 chimneys or 10 chimneys close to each other, he knew that he had a family in that area. And that made him count in the sense of like, where do we put his stores? And back in the day, now we got internet, so we can, you know, map it out. But back in the day, he started with counting chimneys. And having that philosophy around football, that was a really interesting thing for me. But footballers reading, no. I came from it maybe also later, watching DVDs and watching Zidane's DVD. That was me. I was not reading about it, I was just watching it.
Business, that's it. And a final bit of business for us here. Can Don parallel park? I'm guessing no.
No, not even tried it.
No, that's it. That's a simple way to end. That is it. We are back. Steve, you're away for a few days now. Have a lovely little break. Yeah. Me and Don, will still be here, won't we, Don?
We will.
Lovely. Tops on.
Well done, lads.
Tops on.
I think grinding. That's not a way to describe it, Don. Enjoying, entertaining. Living life. ESPN FC, then back on your screens tomorrow. Be sure to join us.